Good evening. A gun has been held to a woman's head during a terrifying armed robbery at Pizza Hut in West Sussex. It happened last night on North Road and follows other raids at takeaways, convenience stores and a betting shop. There have also been a number of street robberies, all in the past 6 weeks. In last night's attack, one man forced a cashier to open the till at gunpoint before escaping with £1,000. From Lancing, Charlotte Wilkins sends this report.
It was 9 o'clock last night when two men burst into this Pizza Hut restaurant in Lancing, wielding a gun and terrifying staff. The robbers struck at a particularly quiet time of the night. There weren't any customers in the store, but 7 members of staff were on duty. And one girl in particular was left incredibly shaken and upset by the incident. One man jumped over the till and held a gun to her head and demanded she opened the till, while another man remained on the customer side of the counter. The men got away with £1,000, which they carried in a plastic tub. The armed robbery is strikingly similar to others which have happened in the area in the last 6 weeks. The most recent being at Uncle Sam's burger restaurant, just a short distance away. Police say they could all be linked and have released CCTV images of a man they want to speak to about a robbery at the Spa store at the end of August. They've also released a picture of a witness they'd like to speak to who was in the store at the time. People living in the town say it's a worrying time.
How horrible. Really awful. They don't have police about, do they? Never see them walking about, do you?
Well, if it's an armed robbery, it's frightening, isn't it?
Police want to hear from anyone who was in the area at the time. Charlotte Wilkins, ITV News, Lancing.
Other news, a 50-year-old man has appeared in court charged with murdering a woman at a flat in Bournemouth. Hayley Dean, was 38, was found at Gainsley Court on Derby Road on Friday night. Post-mortem revealed she died from head injuries. 2 young drivers who were racing each other before one of them lost control and crashed into a lamppost have been spared jail. It happened on the A27 in Worthing back in February. 19-year-old Louis Greco from Littlehampton lost control of his Peugeot 206, seriously injuring himself and 2 passengers. 19-year-old Jake Hedges from Worthing was driving the other car. They both pleaded guilty to causing serious injury by dangerous driving. They've been given a suspended prison sentence and banned from driving for 5 years.
These 2 drivers were clearly racing racing on a highway. They put themselves at massive risk, and that's demonstrated by this crash, as well as any other road users that could have been on the road at the same time. And it just demonstrates how quickly a piece of fun between 2 groups of people can end in almost certain tragedy.
Now, Heathrow Airport is to become the first in the world to be dementia-friendly. 76,000 workers are being trained to help sufferers and make travel a less confusing and daunting prospect. Our transport correspondent Mike Pearce has been given exclusive access to one of the training courses.
Trying to navigate an airport the size of Heathrow can certainly be a challenge. For many living with dementia, it's unthinkable.
Getting lost, confusion, all this information everywhere, all this noise, that's the biggest issue here.
Lorraine Brown from Gillingham has Alzheimer's and has to write everything down to jog her memory. She'd love to fly, but the fear of being unable to cope puts her off.
I'd love to travel on my own, but a busy environment with the, with antennas going off and all this would make it a bit difficult for me to understand where am I supposed to go, where am I supposed to be.
What we want to do is aim to increase everybody's understanding of dementia.
Now Heathrow is leading the way in training all frontline staff to become dementia friends. It means those affected can let the airport know and get the help they need. Or if they just need advice, staff will understand and assist them.
Staff here will have had the awareness to be able to maybe spot some of the issues, some of the maybe agitation that people will be feeling, the confusion, forgetting where that their passport was in their handbag, that sort of thing.
Anybody that lives with Alzheimer's or dementia will come through Heathrow, and we'll be able to recognise what help they need and how we can help them go through Heathrow Airport. The sheer size of it is frightening for anybody.
So far, 500 have attended special courses. The plan is for all 76,000 staff to follow.
It equips us with the tools on how to deal with the passengers or members of the public.
It's education, so it's raising the awareness, and that's the key thing of this. It's a hidden illness and you don't know what the symptoms are.
You know it's happening, but you want to carry on. You want to not to let it make a difference. And if people are aboard with an awareness, life would be so much easier.
Mike Pearce, ITV News, Heathrow.
A mother has been attacked and mugged in Aldershot while walking with her baby son. The 31-year-old was on Hallowmoat Road on Saturday when the attack happened. She was knocked to the ground by another woman who got away with a handbag. She's described as between 30 and 40 with ginger hair.
It's made me a bit unsure now to obviously go out on my own. So from now I'll probably for a little while go out with my parents or my brother or someone until I get a bit more confidence going on my own.
The man brought in to transform Southern Health has today resigned from the board. Tim Smart was appointed as interim chairman in May following a damning report of the trust by the Care Quality Commission. His departure follows the resignation of Katrina Percy, who stepped down as chief executive last month. A child and his grandmother have been rescued after becoming trapped on the big wheel at Southsea Seafront. They were in a pod near the top of the wheel near Clarence Pier when the attraction stopped working. They were brought down by firefighters. The Solent wheel, which cost £750,000, opened in March this year. Freshers in the south are being encouraged to get vaccinated against meningitis. Figures released today show less than a quarter of 18-year-olds are protected. Students are at greater risk because they mix closely with large groups of new people. There have been more than 200 cases of the aggressive strain of MenW in the past year alone. And finally tonight, a cricket match with a difference. The annual Bramble Bank game took place last night, but conditions were a bit wet, to say the least. Richard Slee was there.
It is a high watermark of English eccentricity, played at extremely low tide. This is the annual Bramble Bank cricket match, played in the middle of the Solent. You'd think they'd want to wear wetsuits rather than cricket white, but I suppose that's missing the point.
It's just a zany thing to do. It's fun. You're with a bunch of people you enjoy being with, and we're all having a great time, and I think that's what it's all about.
How would you describe the conditions here today?
Well, a little damp, but better than in previous years. We thought the heavy roller would work, but it hasn't quite brought out the character of the pitch.
The match between the Royal Southern Yacht Club in Hamble and the Island Sailing Club in Cowes gets more popular every year.
We had to postpone it in August, and we had to postpone it in August because the weather was so bad. So we're quite pleased that we've got here in September, and the conditions are nigh on perfect.
Well, this is the only cricket match where instead of rain stops play, it's always waves stops play. In the end, the score didn't matter. In the best sporting tradition, it was the taking part that counts. Richard Slee, ITV News, on the Bramble Bank in the Solent.
Now, what does the weather have in store over the next few days? With all the details tonight, here is Simon Parkin.
From sleet to the slopes, driving through Europe. Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Good evening. Well, at least it's not too cold tonight. There's a fair bit of cloud sitting on top of us and we've got temperatures, well, around 13, 14 degrees. Some outbreaks of rain, generally turning light and patchy as the rest of the night goes on, and perhaps a bit of patchy mist here and there too. So tomorrow morning we'll see the best of any brightness towards the west. Further east, that's where we've got the cloud and some drizzly outbreaks of patchy rain. As we head through the day, it's turning mostly dry. We'll see more in the way of bright or sunny spells, although in turn that could spark off perhaps an odd shower. Temperatures tomorrow, well, not bad, peaking in the high teens, 17 or 18 at best.
Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
And that is all from us for tonight. We are back during Good Morning Britain, bright and early from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. But from me and from all of us here on the Late Team tonight, thanks very much for your company. See you same time tomorrow. Until then, good night.